Hello, everyone, and welcome back. As always, I'm your girl, Candy Washington. And before we dive into today's, I'm going to call it a discussion. I don't want to call it a kiki because of just the heaviness and the darkness of it. But we're going to dive into the allegations. Again, everything on this channel is alleged, rumored, and opinion based. We're going to be talking about some heavy stuff and also trigger warning. There may be some topics that we talk about that might be triggering for anyone who has suffered from or been a victim of any type of coercion, abuse, or assault, or anything like that. So just a big trigger warning, just in case that is sensitive to you. I want to just give a quick heads up. And again, everything we talked about is alleged, and this is a breaking news story. So let's just keep that in mind. All right. But what we will be diving into is the allegations against Juan Dixon, who is the fiance of Robyn Dixon from The Real Housewives of Potomac. As we all know, he is a coach at the Copen State University. We're going to get into it. And there are allegations that he stood by and did nothing when one of his students came to him with allegations of abuse. So we will dive into that. But before we do, you know what to do. Go ahead and like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss it when we go live. Also, be sure to share this with a friend because a kiki is always better with community. Check out our description box down below and shop our love collection. All right, you guys. So I wanted to first start out by highlighting this blind item that ran in Bravo and Cocktails. This ran right before the article started coming out about the lawsuit that Juan Dixon is implicated in. The lawsuit is not against Juan Dixon just him, but he's implicated in the lawsuit, okay? But I'll read the whole article from Baltimore News, which is a reputable Baltimore Brew, which is a reputable news source. But this broke in Bravos and Cocktails, and it says, from a source, news will be coming out about the partner of a housewife. It will help viewers understand her desire to protect her assets, okay? Now, everybody speculated this was about, obviously, Robyn and Juan, because we were like, why is she saying she wants a prenup? Like, this is whack, girl. Like, you mismanaged his money in the first place. You didn't want a prenup when he was balling in basketball, but now you want a prenup because, you're on Bravo and you have a podcast and you're selling hats. You know what I'm saying? Now all of a sudden you want this prenup. So we were kind of wondering about that, right? So maybe this is why she wants that prenup, because if he is implicated, if there is, a civil case where there's restitution that has to be given back, is he on the hook for any type of settlement or any type of payout, right? Who knows? Who knows what's going on there? So maybe that's the reason why she wanted that prenup. Also, I'm not sure on this, but I think that it's also a good thing that his name is not on the house, right? So as, her alleged best friend, BFF, her green-eyed monster, Giselle, let it slip that, as she said, why would a woman ever buy a house with a man she's not with? And then she proceeded to say, that's why Robyn is the only name on that house. Juan's name is not on that house, right? So maybe she knew something was brewing. Maybe she knew something was coming. Being implicated in a lawsuit, it's a big deal giving these allegations. Maybe she doesn't want her house, that she has with her children to be up for grabs. Now this whole prenup situation. Do I think that they're ever going to get married? Probably not, but who knows? Who knows? Did she see this coming? Did she know something about this? Probably. I highly doubt she was blindsided by it, but again, we don't know. But I did want to bring this up because this was foreshadowed in the blind items. And then the S hit the fan, okay? Then the S hit the fan. Oh no, I tried to black out the S word, but I guess it didn't work. Sorry if that's triggering to anybody. I really apologize, okay? So I'm going to read the article, and this is from the Baltimore Brew. Again, everything is alleged, rumor-based, and opinion until everything comes out in the court of law and everything's confirmed. But I did want to report on it because I think it's important, okay? So this is from the Baltimore Brew. Former player sues Coppin State over alleged sexual assault and blackmail by assistant coach. A lurid scheme of sexual harassment and extortion played out under the nose of Coppin's celebrated head coach, a lawsuit says. Okay, and that celebrated head coach is Juan Dixon. Okay. A Coppin State University assistant basketball coach catfished a player online into providing intimate photos and text, then blackmailed him into videotaping a sexual encounter before publicizing the material when the player resisted further demands for sex, a lawsuit filed in Baltimore City Circuit Court alleges. A legal complaint says, quote, by information and brief, Lucien Brownlee, a former guard who served as a director of player development and director of basketball operations, harassed, tormented, and sexually assaulted the player, Ivan Williams, before publishing intimate material he had obtained from the student. Now, this is Lucien Brownlee. This is the person who is being accused of doing all of this stuff, okay? Coppin basketball coach Juan Dixon, who is named in the complaint, allegedly failed to take action when informed of Brownlee's actions. A legendary figure in Baltimore and beyond, Dixon is the former University of Maryland standout and and MBA player who Coppin hired in the spring of 2017. Also named in the lawsuit filed last week is Coppin State University, whose officials, rather than supporting the distraught Williams, allegedly questioned him harshly and retaliated against him by withdrawing previously promised financial assistance. That's disgusting. If that's true, that's disgusting. The way he was treated was abhorrent, said Williams' attorney, Daniel Donnie Epstein, of the New Jersey law firm Epstein Ostroff in a phone interview. Epstein said that they were able to build their case despite the anonymous blackmailer purporting to be a third party. So this is the catfishing, right? This is the catfishing situation. Our strong belief is that Lucien himself was the catfisher, Epstein said. All right, so let me quickly break that down. So we have the alleged, and I personally believe this, but I'm going to say alleged because it has not yet been proven in court. So the alleged victim is Williams, right? So he was being catfished by this guy who is Lucien Brownlee. He was pretending to be a woman, and he initiated a sexual relationship with Williams online, like send nudes, send this, that, and the third or whatever. So he was pretending to be somebody else. He was catfishing the alleged victim, okay? Now let's get back into it. Even if Brownlee was just a fellow victim of an anonymous tormentor, the minute he became a coach, he had an obligation to report any sexual harassment, Epstein said. And Dixon, having prior knowledge of issues with Brownlee, according to the complaint, should never have placed him in a position of authority over players, Epstein added. The coach should have known better than to put this person in a position of seniority. The Brew was not able to reach Brownlee. Dixon did not respond to a phone message and an email requesting comment about the matter, nor did school's athletic director Derek Carter. Coppin State University spokeswoman Robyn McCullough responded to an email by saying, Coppin State University does not comment on pending litigation. So this is a real lawsuit. Team's tight budget. Copen, an HBCU and the Maryland State University system, is known as Morgan State's crosstown rival. Like many Division I NCAA programs, it operates on a shoestring budget, working its players hard. In the fall of 2021, or shortly after the events of the alleged in the lawsuit occurred, Sports Illustrated featured the team in a story about its arduous road schedule, which it called a quote sadistic slate of $80,000 guaranteed games. It's a challenging for the team's leader. I don't know many head coaches who are washing their players' dirty laundry every night, Dixon says in the piece, joking that his water bill back home spikes after game nights. Brownlee appears to no longer be working for the university. He's in the wind, Epstein said. As for the Sports Illustrated story, his scheduling job was being done by another person who is extensively quoted in the piece. So seems like Brownlee has fled the scene. He's flown the coop. He doesn't want to be, implicated. Escalating demands. Williams says in the complaint that he received a message through social media in the fall of his freshman year, oh baby, from a woman who seemed interested in a romantic relationship. He was, quote, enticed into sending images of himself to the person of a sexual nature that he believed were private and in the context of developing a romantic relationship, the lawsuit says. That's the catfishing, right? So allegedly, it's actually this guy, Brownlee. He's pretending to be a woman and he's saying to Williams, hey, let's get this relationship going. Send me some nudes, blah, 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 blah. Send me a D pic, da, 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 da. And, Williams is a freshman guy. He's like, oh, I got this hot girl. And so he sends him these salacious photos. All right. But Williams didn't know it was him. He thought it was a woman. Okay. Now, the online paramour then started blackmailing Williams, threatening to publish the photos and text unless he provided more salacious material. The text continued through 2018 through 2019 basketball season, while Williams, quote, was in fear of losing his place in the basketball program, his tuition and room and board payments, and continued to respond to the person messaging him in a futile attempt to appease his tormentor. So he's scared that, he's going to be exposed. They're going to, post the pics, post the vids, and he's going to get in trouble. In the spring of 2019, Williams learned from Coach Brownlee, then a senior who would return the next year as a staff member. So this is a person who was in a position of authority over him, that Brownlee had also exchanged sexual content with plaintiff's tormentor. So now Brownlee is claiming to also be a victim of this woman. Oh, dude, this woman is threatening to expose your D pics. Yeah, she's doing the same thing to me, bro. Whoa, can't believe we both fell for it, man. Yeah. And to me, again, I'm not a lawyer. This is all alleged, but just thinking about it, that to me points to Brownlee's guilt. Because why would someone just randomly talk to somebody else about being threatened to be exposed for nude pics unless they were in on it? How would you even know who to talk to who just so happened to have the same person? Something's up. Okay, you guys, let's keep going. All right. So the blackmailer then ordered the two men to have sex with each other, according to the lawsuit. Williams refused at first, but when he returned to campus in the fall, the blackmailer demanded that Williams record and send a video of plaintiff and Lucien Brownlee engaging in oral sex. Okay. According to the lawsuit, William complied. So they're saying that Williams and Brownlee did engage in this particular act. Okay. Now it says father gets involved. In December of 2019, the blackmailer instructed Williams that Brownlee, quote, was going to coordinate a sexual encounter with him, according to the lawsuit. Williams resisted, hoping his non-response would end the blackmail, prompting warnings the blackmailer would, quote, wild out. Williams sent videos of himself, but the blackmailer insisted one of himself having sex with Brownlee. sending repeated messages providing Coach Brownlee's availability. Again, how would this tormentor know? How would this woman know Brownlee's schedule unless it's Brownlee himself? Okay. The back and forth continued through March of 2020, according to the suit. By information and belief, the blackmailer was Coach Brownlee, the complaint says. So the complaint is saying Brownlee was both the catfisher, the fake woman account, and he was, himself pretending to be a victim while the whole time he was playing Williams, right? Okay. Unable to tell anyone what was happening and contemplating taking his own life, Williams told his family he was uncomfortable with the rampant drug use on the team during its frequent away games. That prompted his father to arrange a meeting with the Copen officials. With the Copen officials. With the Copen officials, the complaint says, in which Dixon indicated that he was helpless to address the drug issue in any meaningful way, and, quote, was adamant that the plaintiff should stay with the program. I'm confused. Okay, so if this is true, because this is what is alleged in the lawsuit, but if this is true, you're the head coach. How do you not have any power over the drug use? At least pretend, hold a conference meeting, have, I don't know, 3 strikes you're out rule, random drug testing. I don't know what people usually do when they don't want their employees or their players using drugs. Anyway, past problems known to the school. When Williams returned to campus in the fall of 2020, the blackmail and threats continued. This time, Williams didn't respond, and that's when the material used to blackmail the plaintiff was published and revealed to members of the team, staff, and public, the lawsuit says. Epstein says the material appeared on Instagram and has since been taken down. Dixon directed Williams to come to practice the next day, where the two met, and according to the complaint, Dixon admitted that Lucien Brownlee was mentally ill or otherwise emotionally imbalanced, and that his history was known to the coach, athletic director Derek Carter, and the school. But the complaint says the school, whose policy on sexual misconduct prohibits the R word, a lot of other stuff that I'm not going to be able to say on my channel, okay? But when all of that stuff comes out, it says that they took no action to remedy the situation, which they were supposed to do. They were supposed to do something if someone is coming to them, saying, I'm being harassed, people are dropping my nudes, my D pics, I was forced into a sexual act, that they did nothing. And I think it's also very irresponsible, if not legally liable, to put someone in a position of authority and power over students. Yeah, sure, they're quote adults and they're basketball players, but they're also just kids. They're college kids, they're students. Someone who is mentally ill and emotionally unstable, to me, that in and of itself is problematic. Okay, now let's continue. Williams asked for an investigation in which, according to the lawsuit, a lawyer for the university further traumatized him with questions about his sexual past and orientation, basically blaming and shaming the victim. It's cringeworthy, the questions that he was asked, Epstein said. Coppin State then terminated Williams' housing and tuition assistance. Oh, no. Now, this is some real dirty stuff. So Williams, again, we'll say allegedly goes to Juan Dixon, and he goes to the university, and he goes to the other head coach, and he's like, hey, listen, this is what's going on. I've been suffering mentally because of all of the drug abuse that's happening. I was forced into a sexual act. My nudes, my D pics were then, posted everywhere on Instagram for team members and the public and everybody to see. This is a big deal. And instead of helping him, they terminated his financial assistance. You know what I mean? It says that they terminated his housing and tuition assistance. They took away his financial aid. If that's not retaliation, if that's not you better shut up and get out, you know what I mean? That's so disgusting. That's so disgusting. Epstein says he managed to complete the semester by working remotely, so he had to get a job, then transfer to another school to complete his degree. He had to leave. So instead of the university taking action against this, they took away his financial aid, his housing, and his tuition assistance, and he was the one who had to leave. If this is true, again, we got to be careful. Everything is alleged, rumored, and opinion based. If this is true, and again, this source is the Baltimore Brew, and I've linked it down below. If this is true, this is crazy. This is crazy, and this is disgusting, and it's really nasty. And if this is true, Juan Dixon, I'm looking at you real crazy. I'm looking at you real crazy. Any person, but particularly a person in a position of power and authority, working within an institution, a school, university, a corporation, a government worker, any of that, pretty much has that obligation to report. And it even says in the article, the school has a code of conduct that they're supposed to report this stuff, and they didn't. And instead they kicked him out. You know what I mean? It's crazy. But I want to know what you guys think. I'm going to do my quick outro for people watching on the replay, but stick around, Candy Canes. I want to get to some of your comments and questions, okay? But I want to know what you guys think. Do you think that this blind item was right about Juan and Robyn? That him now coming under fire, him now being named in this complaint and lawsuit regarding covering up an alleged sexual assault, do you think that has anything to play into why they're not getting married, into why his name's not on the house, into why she wants the prenup? Now, I kind of fall in some of it and not all of it. I think that their relationship just isn't a real one, and maybe there is other financial issues. So I think that there's a lot of components into why most likely it seems like they're not going to get married. His name isn't on the house, and she's having this weird story about wanting a prenup. And I think that the lawsuit is baked into all of that, but I don't think it's just the lawsuit. I think it's their relationship is fake. It's for the show. They're not really in a relationship. I also think that everything with their finances and the house foreclosure and trying to get back on, and out of the red or whatever it is, I think that has a lot to do with it. But I want to know what you guys think, and also I want to know what you guys think about the allegations, about the lawsuit. Do you think that if this is true, is Juan Dixon liable in this suit? Do you believe what they're saying? Again, everything is alleged until proven in the court of law and everything, but I want to know what you think. Put it down below. But before you do that, you know what to do. Go ahead and like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss it when we go live. Also, be sure to share this with a friend, because a kiki is always better with community. Check out our description box down below and shop our love collection. We have mugs, candles, sweatshirts, hoodies, t-shirts, all of it. We have books and podcasts, so check everything out down below.